Grim Dawn is an isometric ARPG set in an apocalyptic fantasy world where humanity is on the brink of extinction. The game originally came to Steam Early Access in 2013, but was fully released on the 25th of February 2016, and has since received DLC in the form of Crucible mode on the 3rd of August. This game was both developed and published by an indie studio known as Crate Entertainment, and a few features the game boasts are dual classes, 4-player multiplayer, rotatable camera, and quests with choices and consequences. So let's jump in and see if this is a game you should pick up. So this is Grim Dawn, an ARPG that came out of early access earlier this year. We're going to be playing with all of the settings pretty much maxed out. Let's create a character, shall we? Create. Okay, you just get a standard character. I don't know if you can customize them at all. Starting out, you have the choice between normal or veteran. I don't really play a lot of ARPGs, so I'll just play it on normal mode for now. This is our intro cutscene. So the intro cutscene basically shows my character who's possessed by a spirit. The spirit's captured by these people. They try to hang the spirit leaves my vessel, and they cut me down and hope to use me in the war against these things they're fighting against. Talking to this guy, he's fully voice acted. Straight away, the game has a very dark and atmospheric feel to it. Okay, so not everyone has voice acting, but the ones that do have quite good voice acting, it seems. A bunch of zombies are just coming out of the ground. As you can see, killing these things is giving me experience indicated on this bar here. I think these are the kind of ARPGs that I like, story-driven, single-player ARPGs. When it comes to MMO ARPGs, I'm not really a fan of them, to be honest, because they seem to lack a lot when it comes to the storytelling and design of the world. I also really like the user interface in this game. It's not too busy, it's quite minimalist. Displays all the information that needs to be displayed, doesn't take up too much space, looks good. That's level 3. Right, so pressing the S key brings up the class selection page. You can be a soldier, a demolitionist, an occultist, a nightblade, an arcanist, or a shaman. I think I want to be a shaman. That sounds really cool. Boom. Right, I'm overwhelmed. So this seems to be another form of progression tree, but I don't really understand it too much. It seems as though I need to gather affinities to spec into these different constellations. I can already tell that this game's going to have a ton of depth when it comes to making a build for your class, maybe even on the same level as Path of Exile, for example. What's this? Oh, we got ourselves a gun, apparently. So it doesn't seem as though you're too limited on what weapon you use in this game if I can be a shaman and use a gun. This gun is highly effective, that's for sure. We are cutting these things down. There's so much to explore in this game, I really like it, and the environments have quite a nice amount of detail on them. There's a big monster over here. What's this? This thing's coming in hot. Let's not get killed by this guy. We're just gonna kite him for days. There it is. Oh my god, we got a ton of loot. Okay, this is nice. You can actually rotate the camera in this game. Not all ARPGs allow you to do that. A lot of them have fixed position. You do this by pressing the middle mouse button. It's such a dark game, isn't it? All these people have hung themselves. This is a better gun. It's just fucking one hitting them now. We are doing some nice damage. This is the first area, and there's just so much to explore. I think we've explored it all now, though. That's level 4. Oh, there's a quest over here. Okay. Hello. So we're going to open a rift gate for our friend. There we go. We sent him home. Everything just feels incredibly non-linear in this game. Feels like there's so many different paths I could take. I've gone to the burial cave. This is where I'm supposed to be for the main quest. Ton of undead. The guy that sent me to this cave clearly has no concern whatsoever for my character's safety. I changed the settings in the options menu, so I made it so the corpses stay around for ages. I like that. Oh my god, we got an epic. What's this? I think it's an epic. I have no idea. Scrap materials. In this cave, we've found ourselves a ruined shrine, and we can make an offer to it. We get a devotion point. Okay. So, to get devotion points for this talent tree, it seems as though you need to make offerings to shrines. So, we're back at town, and we can hand in these quests. And that's level 6. Brilliant. I really like the music in this game. It's so atmospheric and fitting for the type of game it is.
let's click on this and see what happens. That's going to open up a talent tree over here. So next to the 2 talent trees you have in this game, you can also fine-tune certain stats such as physique, cunning, and spirit. That's level 7. We're blazing through the levels right now. What are these monsters? Fucking spiky pig dogs, I can't really tell. Spiky rat dogs? Nobody knows. The enemy's attacks are very easily displayed. It's not too hard on the eyes to avoid things from what I've seen so far. One thing worth mentioning with this game is that it seems to be very open world, or the zones are huge at the very least. The only loading screens I've gone through so far have been when entering caves. The old dump. Well, this sounds like a brilliant place to live, doesn't it? Putrid den. Wow, this sounds like an even better place to live. No wonder the monsters here are pissed off. Living in a place called the Putrid fucking Den. Die beast. Okay, this guy's putting up a really good fight. I'm actually really low on health. But we got him. There we go. Looking good. Now we've got that style going. Alright, we're slowly uncovering the environment. I'm just in disbelief how fucking open this area is. Some big monsters right here. These are coming in hot. Look at this guy. He's got a fucking giant mace and about 1 million health. He's dead though. Right, I think I can hand in this quest. Got my friend some scrap. There it is. He's grateful. Now I'm a melee shaman with a 2-handed maul. I think one critique I do have with this game is it's not as impactful as other ARPGs I've played. It doesn't have the same level of intensity when it comes to audio-visual feedback when you strike monsters, for example. Expand the size of my inventory. Well, that's bloody helpful. So upon hitting level 10, the game has given me the choice to select yet another class. I could be a shaman and a cultist. The amount of options you have when it comes to building a character in this game is fucking insane. And over here we've got ourselves a merchant. That's level 11. This shrine is corrupted and needs to be cleansed. What is trapped from within? Right, so for those types of shrines you just need to kill waves by the looks of it. Something about this game really reminds me a lot of Path of Exile. All I'm seeing is tentacles and snakes all day long. I might as well just piss them all off at once. Oh nice, we got a ton of XP for helping that guy. Now my character looks like a real warrior, doesn't he? Nice chill thing about action RPGs is most of the time you can play them with one hand and enjoy a nice cup of tea whilst playing. These mobs are all covered in blood or something. What's wrong with these guys? Everything about this game so far just comes across to me as very smooth. You've got very smooth gameplay, smooth transitions between the zones, and very smooth and short loading screens. Some of the cave systems in this game are fucking huge as well. Trying to save my friend, but these snakes are just bloody relentless, aren't they? Okay, so it seems as though this next area is gated off by a requirement that is 3 scrap and 5,000 iron bits. I think I have enough. So it's important to gather as much money and scrap in this game as you can so that you can continue to progress by building bridges. There's a lot of bridges that need to be repaired in this game from what I understand. This is a beautiful underground cave system, isn't it? Well, it was until fucking blood fiend rat flying spiders infested the place. Oh great, we're going into a spider's nest. That's where I want to be. Everybody loves spiders' nests. Part of me does kind of wish that I played this on veteran difficulty. I think I underestimated my ARPG skills, to be honest. Right, this thing appears to be a boss, but I don't have a quest or anything to kill it. Okay, there's the level. Enemy boss killed. This looks like a much more uplifting area though, doesn't it? It looks like we're fighting a ton of goblins, every RPG's favourite monster. It's always interesting coming across new enemies. The variety in the different monsters you fight in this game in a short period of time is quite impressive. I like exploring buildings in this game. The way the structure just fades when you go into it, it's a very smooth transition. So this area here is called the Flooded Cellar. It doesn't really look like much of a cellar to me, does it? It looks like an underground spider city. Not really something you'd want to keep in your basement at all, is it? Everything and its dad is currently spawning. Every zombie and their dog is currently here. So this is what I've done so far in the game. I've started from here, and I've worked my way across all of here, making sure to explore pretty much everything all the way up to here, and there's still a long ass way to go. I'm certainly taking a lot more damage than I used to. The game's stepping up nicely in difficulty considering we're playing on normal mode. Something that's cool about this game is you actually have choices when it comes to some of the questing. Like, I can pass the hammer onto this guy or just fucking take it for myself, which is what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to beat this person up. I could have let him live, but I'm a dick and I didn't want him to live. I'm not really too sure what the consequences of killing that guy are, and I'm already regretting it, but it's nice that choices matter, isn't it? What's this? Oh, it's a level 20. It's a level 20 monster, and we're probably going to be fucked. Unless I kite and I play like a pussy. Right, there it is. We just killed a level 20. Nice, so here I have the choice of recruiting someone. I'm going to recruit this guy. So you can just choose to be a dick and not be friends with people or help anyone. But I'm going to guess it's not going to do you any favours in the long run. I think this is possibly the most open world ARPG I have ever played. It's not perfect, the combat's not as impactful as I'd personally like. However, the game just flows so fucking well that you just lose yourself in an ARPG hack and slash trance. For me, I think the most satisfying thing in this game is trying to 100% explore everything. However, outside of getting that map completion, I haven't really found much else that makes me feel overly rewarded. Got a bunch of quest objectives appearing on the map now. This is where I need to be. Oh my god, there's just monsters everywhere inside this house. Bloody hell. This is a bit of a hot spot, isn't it? So after 3 hours of playing this game, we've finally got to the Warden's cellar and unlocked that portal. However, we've only really just scratched the surface when you look at just how big the rest of the game is. Yeah, that's gonna take a long ass time to get up to the Bastion of Chaos. It's a bloody huge game, very well made, and it's surely a must-have for anyone who's a fan of ARPG games or isometric top-down RPGs. And not only that, the game also has DLC as well, so there's even more content on top of that. So after playing Grim Dawn for a few hours, I'm now going to give you my early thoughts on the game so far. Initially, you're thrown into this dark atmospheric world with a decent amount of purpose given to you after watching the intro cutscene. You notice that a lot of the quests have voice acting, and the game seems to have this old school charm about it. As you progress through the various zones, the game then slowly unveils the sheer amount of depth when it comes to creating a unique build for your character. First, it lets you pick a class and introduces you to the class-specific talent tree, which seems to be completely non-linear. Then it introduces you to some kind of constellation-styled talent tree, which seems to give you some really big damage increases. Then you open up your character window and realize you can also fine-tune your stats such as physique, cunning, or spirit. Then at level 10, you unlock the dual class system, which of course adds a ton more depth in creating a unique build. The next thing I noticed about Grim Dawn, which is really impressive, is just how open world everything is. I was going through some of these zones expecting loading screens to go to the next zones because that's quite a common thing in ARPGs, but not in this game. It seems as though you can just go from one side of the map to the other, above surface anyway. The only time you hit a loading screen is when you go underground or you teleport. I found myself getting really addicted to uncovering as much of the map as I possibly could, whilst at the same time appreciating the diversity and level of detail when it comes to the environments. Eventually, as I got further into Grim Dawn, I did start to notice that the combat wasn't quite as impactful or satisfying as other action RPGs I've played in the past. The audio-visual feedback from killing monsters doesn't really make you feel as though you're really kicking the shit out of them or anything. You're just kind of melting them down. The combat doesn't really feel meaty to me personally. And once I got even further into Grim Dawn, I started to feel as though the game could benefit from something else to look forward to other than just discovering new areas. Perhaps cutscenes or better use of narrative just to break up the mindless hacking and slashing that you do for hours on end. One thing I was really looking forward to when I first started playing Grim Dawn was getting invested into the world and story. However, due to the narrative being drip-fed to you very slowly through quests that take a long time to complete, I found myself losing track and interest of the story quite quickly. I often found myself forgetting the reason I'm
slaying these hordes of undead monsters in the first place. So when it comes to the way narrative and story is delivered, from what I've seen so far, that does seem to be one area where Grim Dawn seems a little bit weak. But other than that, the game has a really nice minimalist user interface that only really displays relevant information and doesn't overwhelm you. The game has a really nice dark atmospheric soundtrack that very much suits the game, and the game also flows extremely well and comes across as really smooth, whether it be transitioning into a different zone, going through a very short loading screen, the smoothness of the combat animations, the way the game slowly introduces new features to you as to not overwhelm you too much, and the way the game's just designed as a whole does a really good job of putting you into a hack and slash trance, where you quickly lose track of time after just mindlessly killing things for hours on end. But overall, my first impressions of Grim Dawn are really positive, and it does come across as a game that's an early access success story. I think if you're a fan of ARPGs or isometric games, this is certainly one you should look into checking out, especially if you're a fan of Path of Exile. I'm pretty sure this game's going to be right up your street. So that's it for this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know your thoughts on Grim Dawn in the comments below, either based on your own gameplay experiences or just this video. And for those of you that are new to the channel, my goal on YouTube is basically to help you discover quality new games and avoid the bad ones whilst not wasting a whole lot of your time in the process. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please do consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, you take it easy, and I'll see you again really soon. Die, got him! Another one. We're going to flank around the back. I'm going to be a sneaky beaver. I'm going to be the sneakiest of beavers. There it is, there's the double kill.